Toronto Raptors take it 139-109. What a sweet game. Let's talk to the top five plays of the game and obviously a little bit of post game reaction. First of all, though, I must say happy Halloween to everybody out there. I am dressed up as a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. It's the only costume I had semi handy, plus it was a little bit chilly out today. Where I live, anyways. So yeah, let's jump into it. First of all, out of the gate, the Raptors had four in double digits. I don't. They were just talking about it at the end of the game there. Oops, I got it on the Hawks. Oh, almost even Coloco, but man, we got Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, OG with 14, Scotty Barnes 21, Pascal 31, again over 30. He really is, going to be a top five player this year, it seems, if he keeps this up. And then you've got Gary Trent Jr. with 21. Sweet. Again, I keep saying, what is going to happen when Otto Porter Jr. joins the squad? I mean, we've got guys on fire. And not to spoil some of the top five, but our man Scotty Barnes coming out playing for Fred VanVleet. I like Freddie. Steady Freddie. Bet on yourself. This guy was the man, as we all know, in the playoffs. When we got the title, he even got an MVP of the finals vote. But I don't know what happened in that last game. He cost us that game. They're saying he was injured. I don't know what could have been injured for somebody to still play. I think it was 30 plus minutes. But yeah, Scotty B coming out and showing that maybe sometimes it's not best to have the shortest point guard in the league. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too negative. Maybe I shouldn't speak that way. When Freddie's hot and we can rely on him to hit those threes, then, he's awesome. But when Fred's out there getting stuffed here, stuffed there, everywhere he turns, trying to force a shot or a layup, and nothing is coming. Even his passing last game was not working out. I mean, anyway, he was injured. I suppose I'm going to take their word for it and hope that he's actually injured. Let's jump into some of the top five players. All right, so this time I'll go actually in reverse order, unlike one of my past videos. But I'm going to go with number 5 being Scotty Barnes, starting the game with hitting his first 3 threes. I think he ended up with 4 in the game total. Or, sorry, maybe he ended up with 5. Actually, I should just check. Yeah, wow, Scotty Barnes, he hit 5 of 9 attempted. So yeah, great game from him, but not. I mean, I guess one stood out maybe a little more than the other two, but I'm just saying in general, his coming out of the game, hitting his first 3 as he's filling in for Fred VanVleet, very positive. Number 4, I'm going to say there was a pass where Trae Young had the ball actually, obviously, in our end, our defensive end, and he made a pass. He had to pop it up high. He was sort of falling out of bounds. They were, trying to move it around. And Boucher just came out of nowhere, grabbed the pass just before it got to the recipient, and he took it all the way to the other end for a dunk. That's my number 4 play. Number 3 was sort of a botched play, but I thought it was funny and showed some of the things that I've thought we needed to improve are when we do get a fast break, and I don't know, let's just take a breath and not just try to jam it in when there's 4 defenders that have gotten back somehow, or even when there's 2 defenders that have gotten back. We'll try and jam it down their throat. And there was a play where it was a turnover, and I think Scotty Barnes whipped it ahead to Pascal, and then Pascal, in his unselfish role, did a nice little bounce pass underneath the defender's hands to Gary Trent Jr. And then I don't know if he wasn't expecting it, but he ended up really discombobulated, out of place, trying to loop it in. And then sure enough, Pascal just stayed with enough patience and got that rebound and popped it in there. So that is my number 3. My number 2 also involves GTJ and Pascal Siakam. It was actually a pass from Gary Trent into Pascal, and it was funny, he sort of found himself at the free throw line, but was extra open, and you could even tell he kind of was surprised there, like, oh man, there's space. So he took 2 steps in, and you thought, maybe he's going to do a spin or try and just lay it in, and but the defender came to him, which obviously Pascal has just been phenomenal this year on recognizing when the help comes. He passed it into Coloco, but the reason this one is my number two is how did Coloco even get the ball into the net? Coloco was like past the backboard, it seemed anyway from the camera angle, and he was still able to like spin it up. It was almost like he hit it off the bumper off the bottom of the backboard, and it just went straight into the basket. That was a phenomenal play. And then he did hit the and one. That is my number two. And my number one has got to be OG, oh my, which by the way, I'll do a little quick hair recap, but OG, man, he had the tight braids in there today, which usually I'm not a fan of, but he was killing it on defense, so maybe again he was feeling more aerodynamic out there. But and so speaking of defense, that's my number one play of the game was OG on Hunter. I believe it was Hunter. In fact, yeah, I'm sure it was Hunter. He took the ball. He picked his pocket 3 times in a row. It was ridiculous. You saw him, the first time he maybe just sort of grazed the ball and then it came loose and Hunter had his back in a good position. So, OG wasn't able to get in there. So he gets the ball under control again, goes to turn, and OG's hand just reaches around again, knocks that out of there, and it was loose bouncing. And then, sure enough, OG stayed with him and took it around on the other side and actually ended up with the ball. And yeah, OG, what a game! Love that guy. This is what I'm trying to say: is if we end up with, as we Raptor fans have already known, Pascal on fire. We've got Scotty Barnes, who seems to be, improved, especially his outside shooting and playmaking. I mean, last year he had a bunch of no-look passes that look sweet, but he seems to be stepping it up and able to, pull out 2, 3, 4 of those a game. We've got Gary Trent Jr., who seems to be able to make a shot from anywhere on the floor, into at least 20 a game. And then beyond that, we've got, the new look Coloco coming off the bench. We've got Precious Achua, who seems to have his game together, as well as Chris Boucher. And sorry, obviously, I'm not meaning to leave out Fred VanVleet from the starting lineup, but if we add Otto Porter Jr. coming off the bench and hitting threes, and even Delano Banton, if that guy could just get his shot in the garbage time, I was going to say Delano hit a three as one of my top plays, but it was garbage minutes, so obviously there's no pressure on him. But at least to see him come in and hit those, even poor Malachi, he did a nice little play. Again, garbage time, streaking, cutting across the key, and did a nice little, behind. The shot clock was almost expired, and he barely got the ball off before the shot clock. But he did, and it went in, banged off the backboard. If he could just start hitting some shots when he gets minutes. But it seems to me like we've got a solid core. If we've got, starting Pascal, Scotty Barnes, OG. OG is who I was left out just 2 seconds ago, but obviously I was saying good things about him. Wait, let me start again. Pascal, OG, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, and Gary Trent Jr. as our starters, and then we're rotating into that Chris Boucher, Precious Achua, Coloco, and again, I would go with Delano because you can't teach height, and him as a guard is just ridiculous length out there. And then we've got Otto Porter Jr. coming in. I mean, oh my gosh. Obviously, I hope that Thad can still get in here and there, and even I wouldn't mind seeing Hernan Gomez get a couple extra minutes here and there too. But if those guys are just fringe guys popping in once in a while to really alleviate people that are exhausted, we might be unstoppable if we can get it all together. So anyway, great win tonight against Atlanta. I already called out Atlanta. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I guess we've got the same record as them, but we haven't had the same schedule. And we all know we should have won that Brooklyn game. I think Nick Nurse coached us to a loss there, and we should have won the last 76ers game. I think, sadly, Mr. Bet on himself, Steady Freddy, sort of cost us that victory. So, we could easily be 6-1 instead of 4-3. So, anyway, let's keep it up. Happy Halloween. And thank goodness we didn't get too scary of a game on Hallows Eve. And lastly, but not least, Mr. Beast for president. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, tell a friend, and I'll see you next time.